Jaguar XF 20d Diesel AWD 2017. Growls more than it leaps. The original Jaguar XF's character rested largely in its design statement. It established the look that has since spread to the compacts and the large XJ, more than anything that was happening under the hood. In fact, it seemed Jaguar wasn't too sure what belonged there, offering at times a naturally aspirated V8, a supercharged V8, a supercharged V6, and even a turbocharged inline-four. When introduced for 2016, the second-generation Jaguar XF offered only a supercharged V6 engine. In our earlier tests of the latest XF in the 340 horsepower 35 tons and 380 horsepower S versions, the lighter, aluminum-intensive architecture and refined handling offset our frustrations with its infotainment system's interface and the minor disappointment that such a pretty-looking midsize sedan lacks the interior panache we expect from a Jaguar. For 2017, a turbo diesel inline-four joins the range as the standard engine, putting the base price for a midsize Jaguar luxury sedan under $50,000. This Ingenium 2.0-liter diesel is the same one Jaguar uses in its smaller sedan and F-Pace crossover SUV. The words four-cylinder, diesel, and Jaguar historically did not commonly appear in the same sentence, so traditionalists are just plain being ignored here. Where we had opined that a gasoline-burning 2.0-liter four that appeared in the last few model years of the previous XF was insufficient with only 240 horsepower on tap to move its 4,052 pounds, Jaguar now reckons that 180 ponies will suffice. We first drove this version of the car last winter in Michigan during some ugly weather. We could tell that all-wheel drive, which inflates the bottom line by $3,000, was working hard to distribute torque and maintain traction in the snow and slush. It's a task because this little power plant spits out a stout 318 pounds-to-foot of torque, which works well with the 8-speed automatic transmission to disguise the reality of a modest engine charged with moving 2 tons of car. Once we'd crawled through the messy side streets to plowed highways, though, it became clear that this XF was going to make for one of the slower $69,000 car experiences of our lives. Exactly how slow it was we couldn't determine, since the same bad weather shut down our test track. With winter finally banished, we got the car back to determine just how slow it is. We now can confirm that the XF 20d is get your luxury sedan spanked by Grandma's 4-banger Camry slow, taking 8.7 seconds to achieve 60 miles per hour and 16.6 seconds to cover a quarter mile at 84 miles per hour. The XF 20d lands right where you'd expect it to in Jag's diesel range, quicker than the heavier F-Pace, slower than the lighters. You've got to have the mentality to drive a slow car fast to justify the R-Sport trim. It brings a lot of extra equipment and some cosmetic enhancements but costs thousands of extra dollars. Its sport-tuned suspension, though, means this car handled much like previous XF sedans we've tested, all of which were R-Sport or S models. The essence is that the XF exhibits exemplary handling for the class. So, if the 20d takes a while to build up speed, at least one can maintain momentum. Mind you that when we say slow we're speaking in the luxury sedan context, think BMW 5 Series, Mercedes-Benz E-Class, and Audi A6. The XF 20d trailed the slowest members of that pack by more than 2 seconds. The Genesis G80 needs 6.6 seconds to hit 60 miles per hour, and the Mercedes E300 4MATIC wants 6.5. Objectively speaking, though, getting to 60 miles per hour in less than 9.0 seconds isn't horrible. It's sufficient performance to make merging on freeways trouble-free and to minimize frustrations in daily driving. It won't incite any enthusiasm, however, and the really telling figure is the long 6.2 seconds this car required to accelerate from 50 to 70 miles per hour. That's 2.4 seconds more time than it takes the XF 35 tons to perform that deed, discouraging 2-lane passing maneuvers. Even the diesel Range Rover outruns the XF 20d by a half-second in the key measure, despite fighting much more mass and the aerodynamic drag of a filing cabinet. thanks to a turbo diesel 3.0-liter V6 that generates a more luxury car-appropriate 254 horsepower. As in other Jags we've tested with this engine, it growls some when accelerating at low RPM but quiets down at steady speeds.